Okay, welcome back. We are revisiting our Bible study series on John or Lazarus, who wrote the fourth gospel. It's been a while. This is episode 16, typology. We're going to look at David and Jonathan and Jesus and Lazarus. Note here, in the Bible study series, we've proved that the fourth gospel was written by Lazarus and not by the Apostle John. If you haven't come to that conclusion, I encourage you to watch the whole series, John or Lazarus, who wrote the fourth gospel. I'm going to add this video to the playlist as well. So the purpose of today's video is not to convince you that Lazarus wrote the fourth gospel, because again, I said I believe we've completely proven that in the previous videos. So the purpose today is to examine the typology between the friendship in the Old Testament of David and Jonathan with the friendship in the New Testament of Jesus and Lazarus, that is, Lazarus being the disciple whom Jesus loved. We want to show how the typology reinforces the fact that Lazarus wrote the fourth gospel. A note here, many reject the claim, and I did the same thing at first. I rejected the claim that Lazarus was the disciple whom Jesus loved, because I said, well, Lazarus wasn't a disciple. And what they mean to say, or what I meant to say, was that Lazarus wasn't one of the 12 disciples. And the problem with this thinking is that the Bible doesn't say that the author of the fourth gospel was one of the 12 disciples whom Jesus loved. It simply says that he was the disciple whom Jesus loved, which brings us to the question, what's a disciple? It's simply someone who follows Jesus, and Lazarus certainly did that after he was raised from the dead. He did not need to be one of the 12 in order to be the author of the fourth gospel. And so our method today, we're just going to simply quickly examine the typology. So first we're going to go to the Old Testament, 1 Samuel 18. It says, now when he had finished speaking with Saul, the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. So Saul took him that day and would not let him go home to his father's house anymore. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as he loved his own soul. And Jonathan took off the robe that was on him and gave it to David with his armor, even to his sword and his bow and his belt. So now it's going to look into some quick facts about Jonathan. This is very important here. Jonathan was not one of David's mighty men, and these mighty men are listed in 2 Samuel 23 and 1 Chronicles 11, nor was he one of David's 3 mighty warriors who were listed among those mighty men. And a note here, there is a Jonathan listed among David's mighty men. However, most scholars doubt that this was Jonathan, the son of Saul, for a few reasons. It's likely that Jonathan among the mighty men was, option 1, it was Jonathan ben Shammah the Hararite. Some manuscripts don't include Ben here, so it looks like there's a Jonathan, comma, and then Shammah the Hararite. But a lot of scholars believe that it's Jonathan ben Shammah the Hararite, so son of Shammah the Hararite. And option 2, which is also very likely, Jonathan, the son of Shema, David's brother. This would make Jonathan David's nephew, not Jonathan, the son of Saul. And an account about David's nephew here says, in still another battle, which took place at Gath, there was a huge man with 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 24 in all. He also was descended from Rapha. When he taunted Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shemiah, David's brother, killed him. So that would qualify David's nephew Jonathan to be listed among David's mighty men. So our point here, Jonathan was not among David's mighty men, nor was he among the 3 mighty warriors. However, this did not prevent Jonathan from being David's closest friend and brother with whom he made a covenant. So how does this typology parallel the relationship between Jesus and Lazarus? Well, some facts about Lazarus. Lazarus was not one of the 12 disciples, just as Jonathan was not among the mighty men, nor was Lazarus one of Jesus's inner circle of Peter, James, and John, that's pretty ironic, the parallels there too. Just as David had 3 mighty warriors, Jesus had his inner circle of Peter, James, and John. However, Lazarus was still the disciple whom Jesus loved. So the typology fits. I could end the study here, but something else hit me today, and you can tell me if I'm crazy as I'm going through this, but I don't want to get into it too much, but just to plant a seed, if someone wants to look into this, I'm going to look into it as well. But some have tried to reconcile Jesus' lodging at Bethany when he was with Martha, Mary, and Lazarus with the lodging that he had in the house of Simon the Pharisee, who also lived in Bethany. These are similar accounts in the Gospels, and some people question that there's a relationship there. There's some theories out there that Simon the Pharisee may have been the father of Lazarus. Some say Simon and Lazarus are the same person, and some try to tie Simon the leper into this as well. And I did some quick research on this. And again, I didn't want to hijack the study with this. I felt like I needed to get this video out, but it stirred up something in me to look into this. Simon the Pharisee is equated with a character, a person named Simon ben Gamaliel, who was a rabbi who was among the 10 martyrs. And these are events that occurred prior to 70 AD and around 70 AD. And Josephus mentions these. I knew nothing about this other than this morning as I was making this video, as I was just looking at the typology, how deep we need to take it. But this in itself is a fascinating study. I'm just going to put a couple Wikipedia links to Simon the Pharisee, Simon the leper, and this is going to lead you to Simon ben Gamaliel and all these events of 70 AD and who these 10 martyrs are and what happened and what these rabbis, what their position was. And it's something I got to look into. So that presents a big if in my mind. What if the typology is deeper? And here's where I'm going with this. Saul, Jonathan's father, wanted to kill David. Now, did Lazarus have a father, or at least a father figure, who also wanted to kill Jesus? I could say he certainly had a father figure. In previous videos, you'd have to check it out here, we basically proved it's highly likely that Lazarus was likely employed in the temple, which meant that he was subservient to a lot of these high priests and these Pharisees who wanted to kill Jesus. So you could say, certainly as a father figure, the high priest wanted to kill Jesus. And again, Lazarus was subservient to him. And if you have any insights, I'd love you to share that with me. I know some of you guys are interested in history and looking at these things, especially with this Simon the Pharisee. And again, I'm going to look into that myself too. I'm kind of excited about this. This took me somewhere I didn't expect to go with this study. So our conclusion today, just to get back to the main point, was that the biblical typology reinforces the claims that have already been made in the series regarding the identity of the author of the fourth gospel, and it's Lazarus. Again, he didn't need to be one of the 12. He didn't need to be among the inner circle, just as Jonathan was not among David's inner circle or his mighty men. So I hope you enjoyed that study. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, especially if you look into this Simon the Pharisee thing and out there in a relationship with Lazarus there. And until next time, contend earnestly for the faith, which is once for all delivered to the saints, and God bless.